The computer runs like a champ, looks good, and was affordable considering similar options. What other similar options were you considering? The Verge building you one? I haven't even been able to tax this thing more than 30% of its potential. That's because it's probably thermal throttling. That poor system. So recently I discovered a whole new world of pre-built PCs on Amazon. I mean, I knew you can buy pre-built PCs from Amazon, but I had no idea it was a thing. Like hundreds and thousands of people actually spend their money and buy these pre-built PCs on Amazon. And I'm not talking about popular companies either, like NZXT or Digital Storm. There are companies out there, small businesses, and even individuals that build the PCs themselves and they sell it to people on Amazon. I want to make this clear before I start the video that I have nothing against pre-built PCs, okay? I know I poke fun at them sometimes in my videos, but the truth is there's a huge market for them in this world, and I'm completely fine with that as long as you're not getting ripped off and you're not buying a poorly built system. I'm okay with anyone buying a good pre-built PC. Don't let anyone on YouTube or the comment section of any website pressure you into building a PC or make fun of you for choosing a pre-built over a custom PC. I've been doing this for too long to know that there are a lot of elitists and keyboard warriors out there who think they know it all. You know, we're all a part of the PC master race. It doesn't matter if you buy a pre-built PC or you build your very own. We gotta stick together, you guys, and we shouldn't spend our energy bringing other people down because of their choices. In the end, we love PC gaming, and I think that's what matters the most. Who I don't have any respect for in this industry are scalpers and companies who sell crappy PCs to consumers who don't know any better. That's what this video is about. I'm gonna go on Amazon, take a look and see what kind of pre-built PCs are being sold, are they even worth it, and educate you on what stuff to look for if you're planning on buying a pre-built. Because sadly, there are a lot of companies out there who are ripping people off, and it makes me sick. Like this Skytech Archangel PC I came across. 388 ratings, 4.5 stars. It must be a great PC. I've actually seen this PC being promoted so many times on Amazon. First of all, even before looking at the specs, I can tell this PC is gonna be a toaster. It's using the new Thermaltake H200 case, which only has one opening in the front for airflow. And to make things worse, all three of the fans are exhaust. There's no intake in this PC. I think it's actually cheaper to buy a toaster off Amazon than buying this PC. This one actually looks really good from Black & Decker. You get 2 extra white slots in stainless steel, so you can toast 2 breads at once. It's got that silver minimalistic aesthetic, so it's color neutral, meaning it's gonna fit well with your color scheme. I mean, you're better off buying this $30 toaster than that PC, to be honest. All right, let's back up a bit. So the first thing you should do if you're planning on buying a pre-built PC is you gotta check out and compare the prices of the parts to find out if the PC is overpriced or not. So this one is going for $1150, and we got the Ryzen 5 3600 and the RTX 2070. So I go straight to a parts site and I add the parts together. You're not gonna get the exact same copy of the PC because some parts aren't visible and they don't even mention it in the specs list, like the motherboard, power supply, and even memory sometimes. So I try and do my best to figure out what parts they're using just by eyeballing it. I know the motherboard is a micro ATX form factor, so that's gonna help me narrow it down a lot. And it's probably a really cheap one. So I'm gonna filter the prices from low to high. And the board has 4 DIMM slots, so I can add that to the filter as well. Now I'm just gonna go one by one and find out what board looks like the one in the PC. It's looking like the ASRock B450M AC board, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the list and do the same thing for memory. I know it has 2 8GB sticks running at 3000 megahertz because that's what's written in the specs, so I can filter that out with the lowest to highest. And it does look like we have black heat spreaders as well, so that's gonna help out. Here it is, the Corsair Vengeance LPX CL16. There is a CL15 as well, which is cheaper for some reason, but I'm always gonna assume that they're gonna go with the cheaper option to save money. But in this case, CL15 is only $2 more than CL16, so I'm just gonna go with that instead. By the way, CL, also known as cast latency, is pretty much the delay time between the read command and the moment the data is written. So in other words, the lower the CL timing, the faster the memory. For the power supply, they only wrote down 500 watts, but what I like to do is search for it in the questions and answers section. So hopefully someone asked the same question. Here it is, the Thermaltake 80 Plus White. All right, I'm gonna go back on the website and fill in the other parts. And finally, we got the graphics card. It is using the Xotic RTX 2070. I'm actually curious to see how overpriced this PC really is. This has gotten my attention. That can't be right. Cheapest option is $898. What in Cleopatra's cleavage is this? There is no way an RTX 2070 costs $900. I want to have what you're smoking because it must be some of the good stuff. Might as well buy an RTX 3080 at this point. Let's look up actual prices on eBay real quick. GPU prices are tricky now because of NVIDIA's Ampere card. So the best way to price match is by going off what the market sells them for in your country. Also keep in mind that these prices are going to drop a lot more once the RTX 3070 hits the market. If it performs better than the 2080 Ti, then I predict the 2080 Ti cards dropping below $500. This means the 2070 Super will drop less than $400 to make room for the 2080 Super. Anyways, I'm gonna put $450 because that's the average price. And finally, we got 3 RGB fans, so I'm just gonna search 3 random RGB fans on Amazon. Here we go, $30 for 3 fans. Pretty good deal, and they're from Antec, so it's not a cheap Chinese company. Let's go ahead and add that here. All right, so we're pretty much done here. Let's save the parts list as, what's the PC name? Skytech Archangel. I'm gonna call it PoopTech Crap Angel. Are you guys ready for the price reveal? The pre-build goes for $1,150, and our PC that we put together comes out to, drumroll please, $1,091.83. We are actually saving exactly $58.17, which is pretty good in my opinion. You shouldn't be paying anything more than $150 extra for a pre-build. Anything between $50 and $150 more than the market value is fair to cover labor and warranty. After all, they gotta get paid somehow, right? Now in terms of quality, that's where this PC fails. It has no intake fans. The components are not getting any fresh air. There's a good chance it's thermal throttling or it's really loud because the fans are running at max speed. That's not gonna be good in the long run. So I recommend adding at least 2 intake fans in the front. It's also using a really cheap power supply that isn't even bronze certified. And what's worse, it's using a Thermaltake white label power supply, which is known to cause issues in PC builders by frying parts. On top of that, it's running on a Ryzen system with only 3000 MHz speed on the memory. And we all know that Ryzen processors are more sensitive to RAM speeds compared to Intel. So having higher frequencies with lower CL timing will improve your performance. Sadly, this system isn't taking advantage of that. This leads me to believe that the person or company building these PCs are inexperienced. You know, they're using a nice looking case, they slap on a few pretty RGB fans, and they sell them to inexperienced people. And it pains me to see that people actually buy this crap online. And what's worse, they're giving false reviews, which tricks more inexperienced people in buying them. It's like a continuous cycle. You know, I'm really curious what the reviews say. Let's go ahead and read the top rated review. This is the computer you've always wanted. I don't know about that, Chief. The computer runs like a champ, looks good, and was affordable considering similar options. What other similar options were you considering? The Verge building you one? Before purchasing, I found myself talking to friends about building one, and like previous attempts, I became disinterested. In comes the Archangel. This computer crushes every game I play on it, running 140 plus FPS on the highest settings. I'm still scratching the service, but I can't express how happy I am. It's literally what I've wanted since I discovered computer game when I was 18, 31 now. This guy's a grown man. I haven't even been able to tax this thing more than 30% of its potential. That's because it's probably thermal throttling, that poor system. That number is actually very accurate. It does seem like it's thermal throttling. As you can probably tell, I'm a computer layman. You could have fooled me. But I know what looks good and runs well. The graphic capability and processing power of this computer is awesome. Don't judge me for buying this computer for WoW Classic. I have no regrets. I'm not judging you for buying this computer for WoW. I'm judging you for buying this computer. This is Teresa's son writing. Thank you for the clarification. Does your mom know that you're actually writing reviews on her account? For pre-built, it's very good value and it uses all off-the-shelf components. It's like building it yourself, but instead, PoopTech does it for you. I would also adjust this review if I encounter any issues, but until then, it's a solid 5 out of 5. You can also get free $10 Amazon gift card from Skytech if you leave an honest review. So that's how they do it. I knew something was up, you guys. There was no way people were giving this PC a 5-star. There had to be a catch. I could be wrong here, you guys, and I hope that I am, but I don't think the sellers can incentivize the buyers into leaving positive reviews in exchange for compensation. That completely ruins the rating system, and now the seller's product is going to get ranked up higher in the Amazon page because of all these high ratings. So Skytech Angel, that's pretty shady stuff, man. That is pretty shady stuff. All right, an iBuyPower PC. Surely this one's gonna be a lot better because they're a bigger company, so they know what they're doing, right?
Wrong.
Literally 2 seconds in, and I already noticed one thing wrong. Can you guys spot it? If you guessed one RAM stick, then yep, you're correct. What's even worse is that it's using a cheap RAM stick with the PCB visible, which completely defeats the purpose of the RGB gaming aesthetic it was going for. You also never want to run a single stick of RAM in your system if you have the option to run dual channel. Not only is it aesthetically displeasing to see only one stick on your motherboard that has a total of 4 slots, but you're also losing out on extra performance for gaming and productivity tasks. Besides, dual channel kits are often better deals than buying a single stick of RAM anyways, so I'm flabbergasted that iBuyPower, out of all companies out there, would only put in one stick. All right, so in terms of pricing, the total cost of this PC, if I were to build it myself today, comes out to $1,058, which is under the advertised price. Plus you get a keyboard and mouse with a PC. But does that mean it's a great PC? Just because you aren't getting overcharged for the parts itself doesn't mean you're getting a solid system. We already discussed step 1 earlier in the video, which was calculate the cost of the PC and compare it to retail value to see how much more you are paying for the pre-built PC. If the numbers check out, we are moving on to stage number 2, which is checking the quality of the components. Starting off with the CPU and GPU combo, we are pairing a $425 CPU with a $250 GPU. There's already something wrong there. The general rule of thumb is to always spend more on the graphics card if you're buying or building a PC for mostly gaming. In this configuration, the CPU doesn't really bring as much to the table than a faster graphics card, and thus you're not really getting the most bang for your buck. In this case, I would have gone with the 10400F, which is a 6-core 12-thread processor, and save that $244 and get a better GPU instead. I could have upgraded the 1660 Ti to an RTX 2070 Super or spend a little more for an RTX 3070 once those cards are available. With this configuration, you'd be getting a much better gaming experience compared to the original specs. Memory is next. Again, I talked about how single channel memory affects performance, but so does the frequency. The PC is using 2666 MHz, which is a joke for this price. You shouldn't be getting anything less than 3200 MHz. Number 3, power supply, which is very important in any system. Again, it's using the cheap Thermaltake 500 watt 80 plus power supply. That is one of the reasons why these pre-built companies are able to offer competitive prices. It's because they cheap out on mostly the motherboard and the power supply. The only good thing about this PC is the fan configuration. They actually have 3 120mm fans as intake and 1 in the back as exhaust, but that doesn't mean good airflow. If you look at the case more closely, you can see that it doesn't have any mesh cutouts or openings in the front whatsoever. So I'm curious where the air is entering from in the first place. I honestly expected more from iBuyPower. It seems like they need to buy some knowledge, not power. Great gaming PC for the price. I mean, yeah, if you're a baboon, your PC is not gonna scream in agony if it's overheating, you know. There are programs out there that will tell you if your system is thermal throttling or not. The one I like to use for myself is called Hardware Info, and it is free to download if you guys wanna check it out. Laura over here says it gets the job done. Yeah, if you're playing Tetris or Roblox, it's fine. I don't game too heavily, so it runs what games I do play insanely well. Probably Tetris or Roblox. Haven't tried anything too taxing on it yet. I wouldn't if I were you, Laura. It came in fine, minus the crappy Prime driver who dropped it off at another apartment's back door. Thank God I saw him dropping it off and knew it was mine. Honestly, I think you saved the person's house from catching on fire. So guys, what do you know? iBuyPower is also doing the same gift card trick. Jared Heimer, very satisfied. September 21st, 2020. Guys, this was like 2 weeks ago. Sure, they asked me to place a review and I'd get a gift card in return, but let me just say, this company is awesome. I ordered this PC to stream our church services and it handles it like a boss. No frames dropped, very quiet and impressive. Did a lot of research and this one was the best for its price. Oh my God. I am actually shocked. iBuyPower, out of all the companies, would do something like this on Amazon. I've worked with them before. They've sponsored a few videos on the channel before. So that's why I'm just kind of like really? Oh man, that is disappointing. That is disappointing. No wonder these are also high rated, guys. 4.4 out of 5 stars, 2,631 global ratings and counting. I would even go as far and call this a scam. Like, these people don't know any better. They're buying these PCs purely based on the picture and the reviews, right? If you're shopping around for a PC, you look at the reviews, oh, 2,631 reviews, 4.5 stars. I mean, it must be a great PC, especially when people are saying it's a great PC in the reviews. So that is disappointing from iBuyPower. I can see, Poop Tech Angel doing it, that's fine, but iBuyPower out of all the companies. All right, moving on with the show, I found one from Xotic or Xotic. This Sasquatch is pairing a 9900K with the 1660, not even a TI version, but a 1660, and they're charging almost $1,700 for this. And what's worse is the CPU is being cooled by a single 120mm AIO in exhaust. I don't even know where to begin with this PC. Oh, there's a 2070 Super version. I'm actually really curious to see how much the price is on that. $2,000. No. $2,000.69. I think it's safe to say that you should avoid buying these pre-built PCs. Avoid buying them from Amazon, eBay, or even Craigslist. Stick to reputable companies like NZXT Build, for example. I've recommended them many times in the past because they're one of the few companies out there that actually do it right and they don't overcharge their customers. In fact, the timing of this video couldn't be more perfect because they're having an extraordinary sale offering $100 off of their PCs from the 13th to the 14th, so it's only a one-day event. This is available on any of their pre-built PCs like the H1 Mini, which is my personal favorite because I do like the small, clean form factor of the H1 case, or you can customize your very own. What I like most about Build is that you can choose what games you're gonna play and it will display the average FPS that you'll be getting on that PC. Afterwards, it just depends on selecting a price that works in your budget and picking and choosing the parts you want to swap out in your system. All their PCs are built with high quality parts and expertly cable managed by their skilled PC builders. And on top of that, you get peace of mind because all of their PCs do come with a 2-year warranty on labor and parts. Have some fun and check out the configurator yourself if you want to see how it works. I'll drop a link to the website down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like and also subscribe for more PC content coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I love your beautiful faces and I'll see you very soon in the next one.